What is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. Today, we're going to be getting into my um, February 3rd bracketology, the first one of February. So let's get into it. Let's look at the bracket watch. Starting with the top overall seed, staying at Purdue, just really playing dominant right now in the Big Ten. First team out, we have the Texas A&M Aggies staying there, and then the last team in, Oklahoma State. So if we look at the bubble right now, the last four byes, we have Northwestern have lost two straight, I believe now. And then we have New Mexico, Arkansas, who really is falling right now, not playing good, and Memphis. Last round, we have Kentucky, West Virginia, Nevada, and Oklahoma State. First four out, we have Texas A&M, Florida, Oklahoma, who did not look good against, I'm not sure who it was. Oh, also in Florida, beat Tennessee, a huge win for Florida. But I'm not sure who Oklahoma lost to. I think it might have been I don't even know. Sorry, guys. But and then Charleston. And then the next route, we have Wisconsin, who got a big win against Ohio State, which now Ohio State's nowhere to be found on the bubble right now. Seton Hall, Penn State, and Arizona State. All right, but let's look at the bracket here. Starting out with the first four games, we have Nevada new to the field at an 11 seed. They have been playing good. They just beat two top 25 teams in a row with New Mexico and San Diego State from the Mountain West. Mountain West is a good conference this year. Watch out for that conference. But Nevada, good team right there. And then Oklahoma State new to the field at 11 seed. We have SE, Missouri State new to the field at a 16, and then West Virginia is going to fall to an 11. All right, in the South region here, obviously the number one overall seed stays with Purdue. We have Boise State coming up to the 9 seed. VCU going to be new to the field at a 12. Duke's going to fall to a 6 seed. And then we have USC dropping down to a 10. In the Midwest region here, we have Alabama as the number 1 seed. And then we have, after really redeeming themselves, they just crushed Vanderbilt, I think like 100-40, something crazy like that, somewhere around there. Just a huge win for Bama. Then we have Michigan State falling to an 8 seed. Pittsburgh going to be jumping up to a 9. And then no more movement in that region. In the West region, Houston going to be the 1 seed there. Maryland's going to be coming up to an 8 seed. Clemson dropping down to a 9 seed. We have Rutgers coming up to a 5. Miami going to be coming up to a 6 seed. We have Arkansas falling to an 11 seed. San Diego State dropping down to a 7, as well as Northwestern dropping down to a 10 seed. In the East region here, we have Kansas jumping it to the 1 seed. Got a big win against Kansas State on Monday. Or was it Monday? Yeah. So a good win for Kansas to take the 1 seed. And then we have North Carolina falling to a 13 seed. Hofstra going to be new to the field at a 13. Iowa going to be coming up to a 7. Florida Atlantic losing to UAB. Their second loss of the season is going to be dropping down to a 10 seed. And then Tennessee, as I mentioned, losing to Florida. A big loss for them. Going to be dropping down to the 2 line. All right, but let's get into the bracket now. Let's start out here with the first 4 games. And here we have Nevada against Oklahoma State. I really do like Nevada as a team. I'm going to go with Nevada. Southern or SE Louisiana, whoever this is, I'm going with them to win against FDU. I'm going to go with West Virginia to pull off the win over Kentucky, although those 2 teams are close. And then Southern, I think, it'd be SE Missouri State. All right, so let's get into this whole bracket now. Starting out with this first game, Purdue against SE Louisiana. I'm going with Purdue. NC State, I think, could hold off Boise State. Then I'm going to go with an upset pick here. Let's go with VCU pulling up the 12-5 upset, that classic upset pick. Not a huge fan at all of UConn. Just have been on just a cold team right now. They beat DePaul. They looked good against them, but still, VCU is a good team out of the A10, a good conference that down there for a mid-major. So I'm going to go with VCU. TCU, I do think it hold off Louisiana. And then Nevada, I'm going to go with the 11-6 upset. As I've been saying, Nevada's been playing great basketball lately. Duke, I just don't really believe in Duke too much. They're just a team that I think can get upset right now. Without Coach K this season, not a huge fan of Duke at all. And I think Nevada, a scary 11 seed, could pull off upsets against a lot of 6 seeds. So that's where I'm going with Nevada. Marquette, I think, can pull off the win over Princeton. Missouri, I think, can beat USC, although those are two good teams there. And then Texas, I think, can beat Eastern Washington. All right, down here in this region, we're going to go with Kansas to beat Milwaukee. Auburn, I think, could beat North Carolina, as well as Indiana beating Kent State. I have Xavier beating Hofstra. Providence, I think, can hold off Memphis, as well as Virginia beating Furman. And then I'm going to go with a 10 over 7, or do I? No, never mind. I'm going to go with the 7 seed Iowa. Florida Atlantic's a good team, but Iowa's playing good basketball right now, and Florida Atlantic just lost, so I'm going to just give that one to Iowa. I think they deserve some respect right now. And then Tennessee, I do think, can beat Vermont. So all chalk in that region. Unlikely it happened, but that's how I see it playing out right now. Alabama, I think, can beat Southern. Michigan State, I think, can beat Pittsburgh, as well as Illinois beating Liberty. Baylor, I think, could beat UC Santa Barbara. And then I'm going to go with an upset pick here. The other first 4 team, West Virginia, pulling off the win against St. Mary's. No disrespect to St. Mary's. They are dominating the West Coast right now. Haven't played Gonzaga yet, but playing really good, undefeated. But West Virginia, I really do believe in them. And St. Mary's, although they are a good team, I think that West Virginia is the better, not better team, but can pull off that upset as a good 11 seed right there. And then Kansas State, I do think it beat Southern Illinois. Creighton, I think, can beat New Mexico, and then UCLA, I think, can hold off Siena. All right, let's go down here. We have Houston, I think, could beat Maryland, Eastern Shore. Maryland, I think, could beat Clemson, speaking of 2 Maryland teams there. Rutgers, as much as I like Oral Roberts, I don't think that Rutgers is going to lose that game. And Iowa State, I think, could beat Utah Valley. And then I'm going to go with another 11 over 6 upset here. Let's go with Arkansas. I know Arkansas is struggling right now, but when healthy, this team is a scary 11 seed. We got a lot of talent on this team, and I'm just not a huge fan of Miami. I mean, they're a decent team, but Arkansas, I think, is a good 11 seed. I think that they could pull off a upset. The Zags of Gonzaga, I think, could beat Colgate. And I'm going to go with a slight 10 over 7 upset here. Really do like Northwestern as a team, so I think that they can win. Then Arizona, I think, could beat UNC Asheville. All right, let's go over here. For a spot in the round of 32, Purdue against NC State. I'm going Purdue. TCU, I think, could beat the 12-seeded in VCU. Marquette, I think, can hold off Nevada. And then Texas, I think, could beat Missouri. So all chalk in that region. In the second round at least. Kansas against Auburn. I'm going to go with Kansas there, as well as Indiana pulling off this slight 5 over 4 upset over Xavier. Last time these two met, I did go with a Providence upset. I'm going to have to go with Virginia, though. Flip it up. This is a 50-50 matchup, though. Those two teams are really good. I'm just going to go with Virginia, and then Tennessee, I think, could be Iowa. So all chalk of 1 through, well, I guess 5, but yeah. Alabama gets Michigan State. I'm going with Alabama there. Baylor, I think, could beat Illinois. And then I'm going with Kansas State to beat West Virginia. And then I'm going to go with an upset pick here. Let's go with Creighton to pull off the win over UCLA. Don't get me wrong, UCLA is a good team, but I do think that they're prone to an upset faced with the right 7 or 10 seed here. I think that Creighton's a really good 7 seed. I put them in the round of 32 last time. Right here, I believe, too, against Kansas. And West Virginia actually made it to the Elite Eight. Crazy way that turned out. But anyway, Creighton, really good team. I think that they can pull off the win. And then down here, I'm going with an 8-seed upset here. Let's go with Maryland over Houston. I think that Houston is the 1 seed to go down early in this bracket right now. I just don't have as much faith in them. They're a good, scrappy team. They find ways to win, but come tournament time, playing a top team or something, or a Power 5 conference team like Maryland, who's battle-tested, I think Maryland is a good 8 seed, and I think that they could upset Houston to advance on. And then we've got Rutgers versus Iowa State. I'm going to go with the slight 5 over 4 upset here. Really do like Iowa State, but they've been off lately, so I think that let's give some Rutgers some love here to advance to the Sweet 16. And then Gonzaga versus Arkansas. I'm going to go with Gonzaga, and then Arizona, I think, could beat Northwestern. It's a little bit of chaos going on in that region there with the 1 seed out. But anyway, 40 spot in the Elite Eight. We got Purdue. We got TCU. I'm going to have to go with the 1-seeded, number 1 overall seed Purdue. Texas, I think, can beat Marquette in that matchup. And then down here, Kansas against Indiana. I'm going to go with the 5-over-1 upset. Indiana is a hot team right now. Now, Kansas playing better, but I still a little bit hesitant on them. I mean, they did lose 3 straight, although it's against some really good teams, but still. And I like Indiana. You know, a lot of 1 seeds go down, so why not go with an upset? Would I pick this in the actual tournament? Maybe not, but right now I think that Indiana potentially could pull off that upset. And then Virginia against Tennessee. A 2 versus a 3-seeded matchup. Let's go with a 3-seeded Virginia to advance on past the Volunteers of Tennessee. All right, so here we go. Alabama versus Baylor. I'm going with the Crimson Tide to beat Baylor there. And then Kansas State against Creighton. I'm going to go with the 3-seeded Kansas State. All right, down here we have Maryland against Rutgers. I'm going to go with an 8-seeded Maryland. Let's have a Cinderella story here. The Terps of Maryland pulling off an upset over Houston, then beating Rutgers, sorry. I like Maryland a lot, guys. This is a good team, and I think that they can pull off a win over Rutgers. Also a good team, but I think that they are going to fall to Maryland. And then Arizona, I do think will be able to beat Gonzaga. So for a spot in the Final Four, we got Purdue, we got Texas. I think that Purdue is the better team here. I'm going to have to go with Purdue to advance on to the Final Four. Or, you know, we had these two matchup in the Final Four last time. Let's actually flip it up. Texas is a really good team out of the Big 12. I picked Purdue to win the national championship. There's a lot of crazy stuff could happen, so let's give some Texas some love. I do think that this Texas team is a Final Four caliber team, and I think that they could even beat a team like Purdue. All right, Indiana versus Virginia here. Let's send a 5 seed to the Final Four. I really do like Indiana as a team. If they could beat Kansas, I definitely think that they can go on to beat Virginia here. Oh, no disrespect to Virginia there, but Indiana, hot team in the Big Ten right now. I think that they are going to go to the Final Four here. So a lot of chaos going on in this Sweet 16 and Elite Eights. But Alabama, I do think will be able to beat Kansas State in that game. And then Arizona, I think will be able to beat Maryland to end their run. All right, so we got some teams now and interesting scenarios here. Texas, a 2 seed here. We got a 5 seeded in Indiana, a 1 seed in Alabama, and then a 2 seed in Arizona. So Texas versus Indiana. Unfortunately, I think that Indiana's run as a 5 seed is going to come to an end there. I like Texas as a program to pull off that win. And then Alabama gets Arizona. Last time I think these two played, I picked Arizona. I do believe in Alabama still, even after that loss to Iowa State last week. I think that Alabama is still one of the best teams in the country. But Alabama, Texas, 2 top college football programs meeting in the championship game. Texas is supposed to be an SEC team next year as well. 2 really good teams. Let's give Texas some love. The Longhorns, I think, are a very good basketball team, and I think that they can be your national champion. So anyway, guys, thank you all for watching this video today. Hopefully you all enjoyed the content. Comment down below your bracketology predictions. And anyway, peace.